What's poppin', dogs? Mr. Allen here with some solving of literal equations, meaning we have these equations here that are pretty much just variables unless you know the 1/2 or the 2. There's some numbers associated with those particular formulas. I'm going to solve for a different variable. So right now, this is the area of a triangle formula that solves the area of a triangle equals this stuff, right? I want to solve it for the height, okay? So that way if I had some numbers, I could just get the height. So we got to get the height by itself. How am I going to do that? Well, how about I multiply by 2 on both sides to start, okay? So that'd be 2 times my area equals my base times my height. You can keep the little triangle there with it if you just want to work with the capital A. That's cool too. I often write my formulas with a little shape, as like a subscript just to remind me what I'm working with, okay? Next up, I got to divide by my base on both sides. So now I have the height written in terms of the other variables, 2 times the area of the triangle over its base. Nice. There we go. Final answer. I've seen some of these types of problems on like the SAT or the ACT before where they ask you to solve for another variable within a formula. Okay. Next one. Let's do the circumference here first. So circumference equals 2 pi r. I want to solve for the radius. So I just need to divide by 2 pi. So my radius equals the circumference divided by 2 pi. That's it for that one. Awesome. And if you're wondering, could I just divide it by 1/2 times the base here? Yes, you could. But sometimes dividing by fractions, people get a little freaked out. Multiplying by 2, I like doing that. It's the same thing. Okay, cool, awesome. Next problem. I'll go green up here. We'll go like diagonal with it. Then I'll do orange down here. Okay, so we got our area of a circle formula, right? Well, I'm going to divide by pi on both sides. So I'm going to put r squared equals the area divided by pi. And then I got to get r by itself. How do I get r by itself? Square root. Square root on both sides. So we're going to have r equals the square root of the area of the circle over pi. Now that is a pretty terrible looking thing there that I don't think anyone would make you rationalize because you have square root of pi in your denominator. Let's leave it like that for this one here, guys, and we'll move on. All right, so if you got to get rid of an exponent of 2, we are going to square root. Time for this one. A classic. Distance equals rate times time. I'm going to solve it for rate. I'll divide by t on both sides here. I'll get r equals d over t. Meaning, let's talk about this one just a little bit here. If I had a distance and a time that it took me to get somewhere, say I had to travel 300 miles and it took me 5 hours, I could figure out how fast I was going. Right? I could take 300 divided by 5, average rate 60 miles an hour. Okay, so there we go. It's kind of a cool little thing there. You can figure out the speed that you're going based on distance and time. Awesome. All right, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the literal equations. It was literally so much fun for me.